Mercedes has had a turbulent few seasons since Formula One's ground effect era kicked off. After years of dominance following the last rule change in 2014, the team kicked off the new regs with a radical car concept that it struggled to get to grips with. After a season of disappointing results, the team abandoned the zero-pod design and has slowly worked its way back up through the pack ever since. The Silver Arrow's evolution culminated with 4 race wins last season, with its victory in Austria ending a winless streak that lasted a whopping 938 days. But now, they're back on the top step of the podium and have become only the second team to beat the dominant McLarens in a race this year, with the other being Red Bull. In Canada, George Russell took the win and his teammate Kimi Antonelli came in third, making it the team's best result since its 1-2 finish in Las Vegas last year. But was the impressive win an outlier? Or did it show that the team may be finally back on the front foot? There's no denying it, Mercedes' performance in Canada was impressive. Despite having a car that has historically performed better in cooler conditions, the team eked the most out of a baking hot weekend in Montreal. Russell put his car on pole ahead of Max Verstappen and kept the lead of the race off the line. His rookie teammate was also on top form, qualifying 4th and passing McLaren's Oscar Piastri on the start to take 3rd place, which he then held onto until the checkered flag. The side's pace had its rivals stunned, but even more surprisingly, the car survived the heat and an aggressive strategy from Red Bull and Max Verstappen that failed to topple Mercedes. Russell described the race as redemption for his disappointing result in 2024 when he finished 3rd. And the mood was equally rosy in Antonelli's side of the garage, with the young Italian picking up his first F1 podium just 10 races into his career. Now he's optimistic about his chances for the rest of the season. Antonelli said, "The team is doing a great job. There's a really good dynamic in the team. Hopefully we can carry this momentum into the next few races." But is he right? Can the Silver Arrows continue its impressive form going forward? This year has already proven to be stronger for Mercedes compared with 2024. After 10 rounds, the team has 199 points, which is almost 50 more than it managed in the same amount of time last year. In 2024, it took an extra race to pick up its first win of the season, round 11 in Austria, and it went on to rack up a total of 4 race wins over the season. But despite the Red Bull Ring coming up next, a track they tend to perform well at, Mercedes boss Toto Wolff is cooling expectations about his side's chances. He warned that while there are certain tracks that suit the W16 well, the car is still subject to swings in performance across the calendar. He put the team's strong showing in Montreal partly down to upgrades brought to the W16 in recent weeks, which our very own tech guru, Jake Boxall-Legg, can explain more about.
Of late, Mercedes has been evolving its floor design with a series of different treatments to the floor edge and fences to strengthen the airflow underneath the car and allow it to produce downforce at a consistent level across all conditions. And that, as a team, is what you need. Knowing what the car will do from corner to corner is vital for driver confidence and allows them more chance to not only hook a lap together, but maintain a steady race pace too. At Imola, Mercedes trialled its new Spanish Grand Prix front wing to fit the new flex tests, and introduced it properly at Barcelona with a new variation of its floor fences and edge wing. Further floor edge changes were seen in Canada to boost the overall load output. The other aspect to consider is Mercedes' revised rear suspension. This was changed at Imola, taken off the car pending further testing after a disappointing weekend, and then reintroduced for Montreal, but without any changes as Mercedes found that it was not to blame for its muted performance in Italy. Back to you, Owen.
New tech isn't everything to Mercedes though, and the team was also helped in Canada by the very nature of the track in Montreal. Montreal was always good to us, Wolff told reporters after the race. It lacks the typical high-speed corners where we suffer more in the heat, that's one, and number 2 is quite a smooth asphalt here, which is less abrasive and therefore less damaging to our car that suffers from rear tyre degradation and overheating. This meant that the team dominated, as Wolff put it, in Canada, but Mercedes isn't holding its breath for this impressive form to continue. Wolff warned that the majority of the circuits remaining on F1's calendar could be a bit of a challenge, and conceded that there was a reason that Canada was the first weekend both of its drivers were on the podium. But the W16 isn't a one-trick pony, and if its car was on top form in Canada, then Mercedes could also prove to be strong at circuits like Zandvoort and possibly Las Vegas, where it has won before. If it hopes to claim second place in the constructors' standings over Ferrari and Red Bull, consistency from Mercedes drivers will also be key, so that it can snap up every point coming its way. This is an area that Russell excels in, as he has only finished outside the top 5 twice this year. Antonelli's results are a little more mixed, but he's still a rookie and is slowly showing that he has promise after an incredibly short career so far. If the Italian can keep the results coming, then Mercedes could outclass Ferrari, which has struggles of its own, and Red Bull, which has already given up on claiming the 2025 Constructors' crown. So second place may be the best Mercedes can hope for this year, but next year is wide open once again. Next year, sweeping aerodynamic changes come to the sport, as well as new power unit rules that call for a 50-50 split in power from the internal combustion engine and the hybrid units. And from what paddock insiders are saying, Mercedes could be about to ace the change in engine regulations once again, potentially giving it a performance boost over its rivals come the new year. This will be music to its drivers' ears, but Antonelli and Russell are currently only contracted at Mercedes until the end of 2025. An extension for the Italian seems certain, as he has often been heralded as the future of the Silver Arrows. Russell, for one reason or another, seems less certain of his station. "My intention and goal are to stay with Mercedes," the Brit said after the race in Canada. But his confirmation that "I know I'll be in F1 next year" suggests that he could be weighing up other offers. In fact, it was reported that Russell was on Aston Martin's radar, with the team keen to make the most of the new regulations when it has Adrian Newey on hand to design the car and Honda signed on to supply the engines. If Russell does jump ship, Mercedes will no doubt have a queue of drivers lining up to fill the vacant seat, just in time for Formula One's big evolution in 2026. A win like the one the team had in Canada may prove tricky to replicate this year, but come 2026, Mercedes will be hoping for a return to its former glory.